So YouTube can be an incredible tool for learning and development, especially for surfing.
Too often though, we can be caught becoming overwhelmed with the amount and depth of information, and the input doesn't match the output, meaning our surfing doesn't progress at the same rate that we consume this information.
Today, I wanted to share my strategy for changing this, so you can see true developments in your surfing from the content you're watching.
To support this channel, please consider subscribing. This is Tip Time. Now let's get into it.
Step one is not just watching videos, but commencing specific research. I know there's a lot of content out there, and one of my goals for this channel is to have really clearly articulated lessons for longboarders.
This has a lot to do with having a specific goal for your research, but with a couple of videos every week, on top of everything else you can find, there's a lot to take in.
Now, I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing, but if we're truly going to work on our skill and improve, we need to identify exactly what this is and narrow your focus.
For most of the surf content you're viewing, hopefully it's entertaining, and if you're passionate about longboarding, then it's a great way to delve into that ecosystem and be a part of it. What we can't expect, however, is to learn absolutely everything in every video, there and then.
Like I speak about with my coaching, it's far better to go out with one or a maximum of 2 things to focus on for the session, rather than 10 sort of things, and then you come into the beach and realize that you've sort of done nothing.
The same is here on YouTube. Consume the content, get motivated, have fun, but when it comes to learning something, have a clear idea of what you're going to focus on.
So again, step one is to actively actually try and improve of only a small number of things at one time, and then consume all of the other information to build your knowledge base and potentially use later on when you're working on something else. So step 2 is to write it down.
I truly believe that we lose a lot of the information we're consuming, especially when we go in depth into a topic. And whilst we listen for a long time, the exact variables we need to control to improve this are still fairly cloudy.
To fix this, as you're watching videos, make sure that you're writing down the key titles of the videos that you really like and that you found useful. And on top of that, make sure you're also jotting down particular points and aspects of that video that you think you'd like to come back to, and that might be important for your surfing and the development, as well as the issues that you might run into along the way.
This is crucial, so that as you're integrating your practice into the water, you can come back and reflect on the key learnings from the videos to see what's working, what's not, and what we might need to change. Without this, it's too easy to forget about the particular points you learned, and we're starting back from square one.
A little extra step in this one as well is to make sure you're also writing down clear goals.
Good goals identify what you want to achieve and by when. Again, I firmly believe that if we don't write things down, everything's up in the air. So write this down so you can come back to it later and get on top of it.
Now, the third thing is going to be when things aren't going right, make sure you come back and retrace your steps. Try not to all of a sudden just leave it there and think that it might not work, because one, you might not have heard something clearly and it might be something good to come back to, and I or others might not have explained it clearly enough or emphasized certain points that were important for your own surfing. And so it's always good to make sure that you come back to the video with your new knowledge to see if there's anything that you hadn't quite registered enough, so that you can then apply that to your own surfing and see how that goes.
So go back to the goal set, go back to the steps you need to implement, and with your new knowledge, try to figure out what's causing difficulty or where you're going wrong. Without experience, it can be difficult to do this at times, which is where asking someone with experience can really help. Again, with this channel and what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make longboarding and longboarding improvement accessible to everyone, which means that if these videos aren't doing it completely, you can ask questions and request videos that I can then go further into depth with. So by all means, if things aren't working out and you're not sure why, please get in touch and I can try and do another video on it as well to help you progress further.
If you found this useful, please let me know and feel free to follow along. See you in the next one.